Hare Krishna. So this, the most auspicious month wherein we'll be celebrating Sri Krishna Janmastami, Balram Jayanti and Srimati Radharani's appearance day, Sri Radhashtami. And the appearance day of our beloved A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So, Sri Krishna Janmastami is not just an event which falls on the yearly calendar. It's not just, it is a holy day, but it is not just a holy day. It is not just one of the festivals amongst so many festivals which are enlisted in the calendar year. When the Supreme Lord descends, it has so many different reasons and purposes for which He comes down. And therefore, His descent is called Avatar. So His descent is called Avtaran. Now yes, it may appear that He is taking birth, He is having parents, He is like a small baby and having Bal Leelas. But then it's called Avtaran. In our case, when we take birth, it's called Prakaran. Huh? So you very well understand what is the meaning of Prakaran. So when the Lord appears, when the Lord takes birth, it's called Avtaran. In our case, Prakaran, Prakriti ke Karan. And it appears that many things are similar. Sometimes people, they think that, so what's the big deal? Why only Krishna's Janmashtami is celebrated? How about me? Somebody might say, I also was born in August. And people can have my August audience because I was born in August. Somebody can say, I was also born midnight. And yes, my parents named me also Gopal, Govind, Krishna, Madhusudan, Mukunda. Yes, so many we find with these names. There was one person, after our one prerna in ISKCON Chopati, he met Radhanath Swami. So he was like attending for the first time a festival like that, youth festival, prerna. So after Maharaj's talk, he approached Maharaj and said, Swamiji, he was from Andhra. So he said, Swamiji, my name is also Krishna Reddy. So he thought that, since my name is Krishna and you ISKCON guys, you are into Krishna. So he was trying to impress. So Maharaj, he asked him again, what did you say? Swamiji, my name is also Krishna Reddy. So Maharaj asked him, are you ready for Krishna? Your name might be Krishna Reddy, but are you ready for Krishna? So yes, we can ask the same question. Are you all ready for Krishna's coming? Now, like I said, that similarities. Okay, somebody might say, I was also born in a similar fashion, or Krishna is born also in a similar fashion, like how we are born. No, it's not like that. The example is given, you have alum, fitkari, in Hindi it's called. What do you call in Marathi? Turti. So you have alum and you have khadi sakar. They look alike, is it not? Now imagine if after your dinner, just to give you, like a mukhwas, somebody gives you alum. Chalo, thoda muh meetha kijiye. What will happen? How does alum taste? It's totally distasteful. A little, just your tongue touches it and the expression on your face can tell what is the taste of that. So they both look alike, alum and rock candy. They both look alike. But there is a vast gulf of difference as far as its utility, as far as its taste. Similarly, Krishna's descent, Krishna's appearance, and we taking birth and we like babies growing up, doing our so-called Bal Leelas and then Madhurya Leelas, so-called. So therefore it might appear the same, but it's like alum and rock candy looking similar. Now see, Krishna, how when Krishna says that my Janma is Divya, yes, he doesn't say that it's not Janma. He says yes, it is Janma. We also say Janam Din. So Krishna is also Janmashtami is coming. Janam Din, Janmotsav. He says yes, मेरा भी जन्म होता है, मैं भी जन्म लेता हूं, परंतु उसके साथ उन्होंने क्या लगाया? दिव्य. दैट वी कैन नॉट क्लेम. वी कैन नॉट से दैट आवर जन्म इज ऑल्सो दिव्य. हाउ? फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, Krishna chooses his parents. Anybody can do that? I had a colleague of mine, and after a long time, finally he got recruited into the defense. But he was not able to get through anywhere else. And he had finished his education and he was just sitting at home, not getting any job, not doing anything. So his father, he got really annoyed on him, and once his father, like out of frustration, shouted that, "You become such huge, big like a pole. हाँ? क्या फायदा? घर पे बैठा रहता है निठल्ला." So the kind of reply he gave to his father, क्यों पैदा किया तेरे को मैंने? Like that. The father was scolding, rebuking. So he said, क्या मैंने application डाला था? कि मुझे पैदा करो. हाँ? मैंने application डाला था. One boy, grown up, a little bit, teenager, he found that in his father's bedroom, he had put the son's photo. Now, who would do that? So he asked, "Papa, मुझे अभी तक समझ में ही नहीं आया, मेरी फोटो आपने बेडरूम में क्यों लगा रखी? तब प्यार करते हो?" तो उसने कहा प्यार वगैरह कुछ नहीं है, आई यूज यू एज ए कॉन्ट्रासेप्टिव, कि तेरे फोटो को देख के अपने आप को संभाल लेता हूं कि फिर से ऐसी गलती नहीं करनी। So that is the situation of some of us taking birth. Like demigods were waiting for Krishna. You know, there is Garbhastuti, where all the demigods, they come in the prison house of Kamsa and they are offering Garbhastuti to Devaki, to the unborn Krishna now. Now, किसकी गर्भस्तुति होती है? How many are waiting for us to be born? Like we are born and they are like demigods waiting for us, devatas waiting for us. Anyone? Maybe few relatives here and there. So Krishna, he chooses his parents. That makes it Divya, one reason. He chooses the place also. Like, you know, this baby was born. And as soon as he was born, he starts speaking to the doctor. Light क्यों गई हुई है? अंधेरा क्यों है? ओह शिट, फिर से इंडिया में पैदा हो गया. So, many of you might be thinking, only if I was born in the United States, in the United Kingdom. Here I am, place of birth, Dindori. Only if instead of Dindori, it would have been Disneyland. So how many of us we knew that the place, the time of our birth. So we see that how Krishna, his birth becomes Divya because of these few reasons which we have taken. Of course, there are innumerable reasons. But then the most important thing is that if Krishna is in the spiritual world, which is flawless, in the spiritual world there is no old age, disease, death, no pangs of misery. The weather is perfect, the people are perfect. There is nothing called pain in the spiritual world. That word doesn't exist. Misery, this word doesn't exist. They don't even know what it means. So from that place, why Krishna comes regularly to a place like this? You know, especially Kali Yuga on this earth's planet is considered to be the bottom of the trash can. You know, if you have a dustbin, wherein, you know, practically every day, like a big drum of all garbage drum. And so much of garbage, you know, wet, dry, everything is thrown. So imagine after a week, when it is filled with all kinds of garbage of the week, which would be that part of that garbage from that drum which would be most stinking? The bottom. At least on top of that garbage, the garbage would be relatively fresh compared to garbage which is at the bottom of the drum. So Kali Yuga is compared to the garbage which is at the bottom of the 4 yugas. So yes, other yugas also, they are in the material world. All the miseries are there. But at least, relatively compared to Kali Yuga, they are like on top of the garbage drum. So, this Kali Yuga is like, one of our sannyasis once was explaining that sometimes if demigods, they are going from one planet to another planet, and in case if on the way, they have to relieve themselves. And if earth is coming in the way that they can relieve themselves, they don't even come down to relieve themselves here. So, if that is the situation, that what have we made of this planet, first of all? Everywhere, what human beings have done to planet Earth. This is ecologically. Forget about spiritually. Just ecologically, environmentally, how much we have polluted this planet. But despite all of that, Krishna says, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharat. That I come regularly, millennium after millennium, I keep coming. And he'll keep coming, he says. Why? Why does he want to come? Just like if somebody who is, if you relatively try to compare that, somebody who is living in Beverly Hills in America. Do you know Beverly Hills, California, where all the Hollywood stars, they live? It's like, the poshest place somebody would want to live or would want to or could aspire to have on this planet. Imagine somebody from there regularly visiting Dharavi. Huh? Isn't it strange? Somebody from Beverly Hills regularly visiting Dharavi. It's very strange. So, using this example, the Supreme Lord coming down on this earth planet is like that. Why? The big question is again, why does he have to? He doesn't have to, but still he does. The reason is given because he cares for us. There is nothing attractive over here. There is nothing impressive over here because he cares for us. So the first reason he comes on this planet regularly is to remind us. Remember, the first R, he comes to remind us. Remind us about what? Remind us about our real home. Just like if somebody is suffering from amnesia. What is amnesia? कभी कभी दिखाते हैं ना फिल्मों में, याददाश्त चली गई, forgets who he is, where he is from. So how that person, he gets back his memory? That memory loss, how it's regained? When that person is taken to that place or reminded of those places which he would frequent before. So our real home is the spiritual world and we have forgotten, so we are not qualified to go, so the Supreme Lord brings the spiritual world to us to remind, this is the place you left, this is your real home, this is where you were with me. And he brings his entire entourage, everyone, all of his associates. He brings them all. In fact, he brings the spiritual world, the replica of the spiritual world, and makes Holy place is just like Nasik has become holy place because Lord Ram, he along with his associates in this place, otherwise it's any other geographical place on this planet. How come this place has become holy, sacred? The Lord made it. And like that there are so many. Wherever he went, he made that place holy, so that whoever comes in contact with that holy place will be reminded of what he has left behind. So that's what. All these programs which we have, these talks, these sessions, these festivals, they are meant to cure us from what? Amnesia, spiritual amnesia. That's what we are suffering. And sometimes you might feel that, well, after getting reminded, it's more miserable. I was happy in ignorance. Like they say, ignorance is bliss. You see? So before coming to these Hare Krishna talks, I would have a guilt-free life. You heard of that? Guilt-free life. जो मन किया खा लिया, जो मन किया देख लिया, सुन लिया, चले गए, सब कुछ जो मन किया. Now, after listening and all these, so many no's, so many don'ts, and they don't just say that don't do it, they say if you do it, what is going to happen? The repercussions, the consequences. And after being bombarded so much about the don'ts and the no's and the consequences of all of that, just the thought of enjoying those pleasures which I used to scares me to death. But then I still can't resist the temptations. Those temptations are so alluring. So, न तो इधर का छोड़ा न उधर का छोड़ा, वहां पे जाता हूं एंजॉय करने के लिए. बार बार वो क्या हो रहा है, लेक्चर में बैठता हूं तो वो याद आते हैं. हाँ, वो सारे सेंस ऑब्जेक्ट्स याद आते हैं. Now this is called reminding. That we somehow make sure that even if I'm sitting in a Hare Krishna program where all Kirtan, Krishna Katha is going on, I should have some device which should keep me connected to my personal delights. So what is the irony? The irony is, when you are sitting here, you are reminded and you are troubled by the sense objects which you left off. And then somehow or the other, the mind and the body becomes restless after a while. When will I join back to those sense objects which, are pulling me as I am sitting here. And then when you go to enjoy, you start remembering the lecture. That you are into some sensual pleasure and you know that sensual pleasure is forbidden. You know very well because you have heard it. You have not just heard it, you have understood it. You have not just understood it, but you have felt it. And despite when you go to indulge in that forbidden pleasure, all of this surfaces up. And when it surfaces up, you can't. So therefore, herein, when we are talking of Krishna coming and reminding us. It's like such a powerful reason for us to get connected to Krishna, that we are reminded back of our original identity. Now imagine, it might be nightmarish for you that tomorrow you forget everything about. It's like your entire brain is formatted. You don't know anything about yourself. Well, some people might welcome it. But isn't it scary? You don't even know who you are, where are you from, all of those things which you have learnt, everything erased. You are a blank hard drive. So imagine we have come and we have totally forgotten about our real home. So Krishna comes to remind, and slowly, in fact, so many of our practitioners of Krishna consciousness, they have admitted and confessed that after practicing this process, 4 regulative principles, and chanting these rounds, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, they have felt that as if this is what their actual life was, which they were supposed to live. And what they were living before was someone else's life. Now, some of you might be feeling that it appears to be so foreign and so unnatural to dress up like this. In fact, I used to also wear all these kind of clothes. And now I wonder how I used to wear. Now for you, looking at me, you might be thinking the same. How is he able to even sit wearing this? How he puts it on, first of all. कहाँ से कहाँ जाता है? First time, I remember when I was just 21, first time I was taught how to wear a dhoti. How many of you are 21 years old here? शर्माओ मत. लड़कों को तो पूछ सकते हैं. So imagine your age, first time somebody taught me how to wear a dhoti. And it was like, for me, it was like rocket science, कहाँ से कहाँ गया वो knot कहाँ बांधा. And these plates, in front, and something goes behind. And like, when everything was set, my first question was, obviously, that's it? No belt? and you see, that wearing that, you are in the ISKCON temple and you have to attend the kirtan, which means ISKCON temple kirtan means it's not just like some old Gujarati lady sitting and Maharonanda Gopal and like that. It's like you have to be dancing. So my fear was that you have put this dhoti on me, but what about this dhoti falls off? So it was like, a youth gathering like that, and I had this fear. So the person who did it to me, he said, don't worry. सब लोग खेलोगे वहाँ पे, हम लोग सब, हाँ? हम ही रहने वाले हैं. क्या फर्क पड़ता है? बार बार नीचे देख रहा था मैं, है ना समझ में ही नहीं आ रहा था, क्योंकि after wearing jeans, like 5 times more heavier than the dhoti, And one advantage of wearing jeans is that you know you are wearing something. It makes you feel, yes, you are wearing something. But something like this, you have to keep checking. So yes, now I feel that how was I able to do all that? And this I feel so natural, as if I was doing this some time ago, I forgot it, and now I've been reminded. You see, that's the beauty of the lifestyle of Krishna consciousness. Forget about the philosophy. The lifestyle of Krishna consciousness is so much in sync with the soul that you start feeling this is the life which once you were living. These are the ideals once you had for yourself. This is the culture, this was the language you used to speak. So the first reason why Krishna descends is to remind. And once he reminds us, of course the first hour is so profound in itself that the way Krishna does it, we can go for hours and hours. Why he reminds us? Of course, we understood what he reminds us. He reminds us of our original home with him, our association with him. Why? So that he can redeem us. The second hour. To redeem us from the slumber of this materialistic lifestyle. What is the meaning of slumber? Which means we are deep asleep. You see, when someone is deep asleep, he is disconnected from the wakeful world. Is it not? Like many times we find that, small babies, when they are accompanying their parents, so the lecture is going on and in-depth discussion is going on, and I see that the babies are fast asleep. Which means that baby is totally disconnected from the program which is going on. So when someone is in a slumber, deep slumber, he is disconnected. Not just disconnected, if he is dreaming within that, slumber, then he is connected somewhere else. That dream means he is connected somewhere else. So that is our situation. Not that we were only disconnected from Krishna and we are in this slumber, but within this slumber, within this asleep stage of ours, we have created a dream for ourselves. And we are trying to live that dream. But just like a dream cannot give you the real satisfaction. To give an example, that you are thirsty. Sometimes it happens in the summer season, you are deep asleep, and in the middle of the night you find yourself thirsty, but you are in deep sleep. But your thirst is actual. And you are not able to get up. So you are having a dream that you are drinking nice cool water. And in your dream you have gulped a full jug of water. And still you find you are thirsty. You take another jug full of water and gulp it in. Again you find yourself thirsty. Why? Because your thirst is real, but the way you are quenching your thirst is via the dream. That water is not real. So similarly, in that illusory state of disconnecting ourselves with Krishna in this material world, when we try to enjoy the dream, how much can you enjoy a dream? Only till the point you are in the dream. As soon as you wake up, you realize, oh my God, I was, in the Swiss Alps, in Switzerland, with the most gorgeous of all Swiss ladies. And I was skiing. And it was such a wonderful gala time I was having. But then as soon as you wake up, you find yourself in your hostel room. Underwears are hanging. Where are the Swiss Alps? And all of that. So, everything is thwarted. All the pleasures of the dream, they are thwarted as soon as you wake up. But what's happening is, your wakeful situation is bringing you to ground reality. What is ground reality? Ground reality is all of the things which are pending for you to do, your responsibilities and all of that. So when Krishna, he comes to remind us, he reminds us so that we can redeem ourselves from our slumber. An alarm can hint you to wake up. Somebody can shake you to wake up. But the act of waking up has to be done by you. So yes, Krishna brings all the alarm systems and the support systems. What is hearing? Just like when somebody is deep asleep, the ears can hear the alarm. That's what the alarms are. The feature of alarm is there, say in a cell phone or alarm clock. And it's meant for what? It's meant for the ears. They have the ascending sound of the alarm that, after maybe 1 minute or 3 minutes, the snooze button and the alarm is louder than before. So what happens? Some people, what they do? They snooze it. What snoozing means? Snoozing means that right now I give more importance to my sleep. Now the alarm, if the alarm was a person, then the personified alarm would be alarmed and would be asking you, wait a minute, didn't you set me last night? And now you are snoozing and going back to sleep. The whole night that alarm button was on of mine, and I was waiting when it will be 5 in the morning and I'll start going off. You're insulting me. You are insulting me. First of all, you are not man of honor. You decided something and you are going back on your word. So, of course, it says, no worries, I'll have some pity on you. 3 minutes more I'll give you. And again it starts going off. And then sometimes the slumber is so enjoyable for some people, they then switch off the alarm. Now imagine how pissed off their alarm clock then is. You switched me off? Is that what I'm meant to be? So some people, that's what they do. What is this hearing going on? This hearing is like alarm clock. Krishna, through his scriptures, he has sent big, like, this Bhagavad Gita, like a huge alarm clock. पहले आता था ना, इतना बड़ा alarm, ट्रर करके आवाज आता था उसका जोर से. So like that, because you see, people nowadays they have these kind of tailor-made beds, and so many different controls they have. People, those who are really the associates of Kumbhakarna when they go to sleep. So for them there are these kind of beds which are the size of a small airplane, and it has so many controls in it that if you initially, very soothing sound like of that an alarm and birds chirping. But then if somebody is really in unalloyed ignorance, then the bed starts shaking, and there is a eject system also, that the guy is thrown out of bed. And some of them, they're thrown off, ejected out of the bed, and they're on the floor. There also they start snoring after 5 minutes. So Krishna has given these scriptures which are like alarms to wake us up. And some of us, what we do, as soon as we listen to the alarm, we wake up. Yeah. Very rare few, those who immediately wake up, as if they were waiting for the alarm to go off. Is there anyone like that? That before the alarm goes off, you wake up and, now depends on what time you have set the alarm. If you have set the alarm for 12 noon, मतलब सबसे पहले तो शर्म आनी चाहिए कि उसमें अलार्म भी लगाना पड़ रहा है. उसके लिए 12 बजे दिन के अलार्म लगा है. सो बेचारा अलार्म क्लॉक भी शर्मा जाएगा. शर्म करो, क्या टाइम सेट कर रहा, पहले वो तो देख लो. लानत है, लानत है. मुझे भी शर्म आएगी बजने में. दिन के 12 बजे. So this is one category, they immediately wake up. So some people, when they hear from Bhagavad Gita the instructions of Krishna, yes, immediately, this is what I am supposed to do. And this category of people, especially we find in India, they snooze. Snoozing क्या है? अभी नहीं. सुन लिया, हाँ मालूम है गीता है, अलार्म बजा मालूम है, थोड़ा और सोएंगे. So yes, we listen and we acknowledge also. अच्छा बोलते, लेक्चर अच्छा है इन लोग का, बोलते अच्छा है लोग. किसके लिए? हाँ, सब लोग आए थे ना, उनके लिए अच्छा बोलते हैं. स्टूडेंट्स के लिए अच्छा है. मैं भी तो स्टूडेंट हूँ, तुम भी तो स्टूडेंट है. हाँ, वो तो बाद में होता है ना, शुरू में थोड़ी होता है. वो तो बहुत बार जाने के बाद होगा ना कुछ. तो पहली बार ही गया हूँ, तो दूसरी बार ही गया हूँ. तो दैट इज लाइक द स्नूज बटन, कीप पोस्टपोनिंग. And there are some, they come first time and they switch off the alarm. कान पकड़ लिए, हाँ, फिर से कभी नहीं जाना है प्रोग्राम के अंदर. Why? Because the more I hear, the more I will kill my parties, which I don't want to. So redemption, that's the second R. After we are reminded, we are redeemed. And once we are redeemed, then we are reclaimed. What is the meaning of reclamation? Who knows? Reclaim. What is the meaning of claim? To show authority over something, that I claim to be an Indian. I claim to be a student of K.K. Wag, like that. So Krishna comes to reclaim, which means he has the authority over us. And we are supposed to be his servants. We are supposed to be in his abode. So he comes to reclaim us back. And the final is reunion. Reunion with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, when you see the sequence of reasons and purposes for Krishna's descent, he comes to remind, he comes to redeem, he comes to reclaim, and he comes so that we can reunite with him. That is Janmashtami. That is the real purport of understanding why Krishna descends. Therefore I said, कृष्ण का जन्म उनका अवतरण है और हमारा प्रकरण है. हमारा जन्म प्रकरण है, क्योंकि उसके पीछे कोई पर्पस नहीं है. वी आर नॉट बॉर्न टू रिमाइंड समवन और रिक्लेम समवन. हम लोग कोई ऐसे मसीहा पैदा नहीं हुए हैं कि पैदा होते ही हम लोग कोई ऐसे चिन्ह दिखाए हैं कि मैं आया हूं पृथ्वी को बचाने के लिए. पहले तो पता ही नहीं कि मैं कौन हूं और मैं कहां आया हूं. कितने सालों बाद पता चलता है, ओ मैं नासिक में हूं. नासिक महाराष्ट्र में है और महाराष्ट्र वो इंडिया के अंदर है. ऐसे बाद में पता चलता है फिर धीरे धीरे. So we are born abodh jata, we are born in ignorance. So herein, when we come to know that someone who is so merciful, now see, what is the speciality of Krishna? Like I said, that he doesn't have to come. But if you see that when he comes, the kind of pastimes he performs, Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela, these four things he comes and gives to us. For all these four things to happen, to remind, to redeem, to reclaim and to reunite, he gives Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela, four things. Now, very interesting about Krishna, that he comes and he brings his associates like Nanda, Yashoda, Radharani, all the cowherd boys, everything he brings them, and he's performing pastimes with them. So one might ask this question, you say that he has come for us, to remind us, to reunite, but he's having his own Ras Leelas. He's having his own Vrindavan parties. Where is my redemption in that? Here comes the most interesting part. Have you ever found any celebrity who portrays his enjoyment, and because of that celebrity's enjoyment, you are satisfied? शाहरुख खान काजोल के साथ जो भी रंगरलिया रंगा रहा है वो, कि उसको देखकर बस अब मेरे को कोई इच्छा नहीं है. Does it happen any time? Why people go watch these romantic movies? One reason is because they don't get to enjoy first hand, so they enjoy it second hand. कि चलो हमको तो ऐसे कोई मौका मिला नहीं, तो चलो किसी और को जो मौका लगा है उसको देख लेते हैं. So because it's all second hand enjoyment on the screen, so nothing is first hand, so you're just seeing on the screen something, and that too you know that it's all fake. है ना? वो कर क्या रहा है, ऐसा कर करके हीरोइन बदल रहा है बस। मालूम है पिछली मूवी में कोई और थी, अगली मूवी में कोई और होगी। पिछली मूवी में वही वो कस्में दे रहा था कि तू ही है, बस तू ही है, तू ही है। हाँ? और उसका भी ट्रेलर दिखा देते हैं इस मूवी के बीच में। हाँ, वो मतलब अगली मूवी में वो किसी और के साथ ये सैर सपाटे पे रहेगा, पेड़ों के यहाँ वहां। उसका ट्रेलर दिखा रहे हैं इस मूवी में, जहां पे और किसी के साथ है। और जिसके साथ होना चाहिए वो तो कभी स्क्रीन पे आती ही नहीं है। इनफैक्ट उसकी बीवी ने वो मूवी प्रोड्यूस करी है, होता है ना, इनकी बीवियां ही मूवी प्रोड्यूस करती हैं। और क्या प्रोड्यूस किया है, मेरा पति देखो क्या गुल खिला रहा है, सारी दुनिया देखो मेरा पति क्या गुल खिला रहा है। और उसको फिर सब लोग पॉपकॉर्न खाते खाते देखते हैं। क्यों इतने पॉपकॉर्न बिकते हैं, उधर ही क्यों बिकते इतने पॉपकॉर्न? जिंदगी के जितने पॉपकॉर्न सबसे ज्यादा उधर ही लोग क्यों खाते हैं? कभी देखा घर पे बैठ के पॉपकॉर्न खाते हो ऐसे ही की? नहीं, उधर ही खाते हैं, बिकॉज दैट इज द ओनली रियल एंजॉयमेंट। एवरीथिंग एल्स ऑन द स्क्रीन इज फेक। So imagine now, if I use this word, that when Krishna comes with Radharani and performs his pastimes, his enjoying pastimes with Srimati Radharani and other gopis is called benevolent enjoyment. What is the meaning of benevolent enjoyment? That he enjoying is his benevolence upon us, which is impossible to happen from anyone of this material world. That somebody else is enjoying and you are getting benefited. In fact, it's the other way around. Many times when people they are enjoying at the expense of someone else's misery. But herein, our redemption, our purification, and our real satisfaction lies in when we get connected to Krishna's enjoyment. So therefore, when Krishna comes in this material world and performs his leelas, he is advertising that yes, you can also join. And you can participate, you can become part of this Leela. Which celebrity can do that? That by demonstrating their so-called amorous exchanges, they are inviting the audience that please join in my so-called Leelas. No. So therefore, Maharaj Kulashekar in a beautiful verse he says, Nathena purushottame trijagatam ekadhipe chetasa sevye swasya padasya datari pare narayane tishtati yam kanchit purushadhamam katipaya grameshamalparthadam sevayai mrigayamahe naramaho mudho narakavayam. So, herein he is saying, comparing that what have you got in this world and what is Krishna offering when he comes. So he is making like a balance sheet. You know what a balance sheet is? Profit loss. So he says, first of all, in this material world, in order to survive, you have to serve someone. So whom do you find? Purusha Adham. You find a Purusha Adham. Herein he is saying, when you serve Krishna, you are serving Purushottama, the best amongst the all human beings, the best amongst all Purushas, Purusha Uttama. Then secondly, he says that this Purusha Adhama, which a materialistic person has to serve practically all through his life, what does he own? Gram, few villages or maybe few industries, as against Krishna, who is Ek Adhipati, who is the Ek Adhipati of the entire creation. So just look at the magnitude of what Purushottama is owning. Then thirdly, he says that even if you slog hard, at the end, what does this Purusha Adhama give you back? Alpa Artha. Something very meager, something like peanuts. And when you serve Purushottama, what does he give in return? He gives his entire abode, he shares his entire abode, Narayane Tishtati, entire abode you can share with him. Is there any boss who says that after you retire, you can start living in my house? Any boss? जो घर देते हैं वो भी ले लेते हैं कंपनी वाले. अभी रिटायर हो गए, चाबी वापस लौटाओ, खाली करो, क्वार्टर खाली करो. And finally he says, which boss of this world will be ready to give everything to the employee in reciprocation with just thinking about the boss? If imagine someone is working for the boss and the boss calls about some project or about some assignment. What are you doing? Where are you? He says, boss, I am thinking about you. Since morning 8 o'clock, and in fact for the past 1 week, morning 8 to evening 8, I have been thinking about you. So the boss will say, I will also think about paying you. But herein, just thinking about Krishna, you are getting the highest reward. Anta kale chamam eva smaran muktva kalevaram. ये कलेवर जो है हमारा, इससे मुक्ति केवल स्मरण से. Just thinking about the Supreme Lord. Look at the retirement benefits. And not just retirement benefits, but even while we are serving the Supreme Lord, what are the benefits? So who could be a more worthy master than the Supreme Personality of Godhead? And He comes to us to redeem us, to reclaim us, to reunite us, to remind us. He comes. We just have to accept. So this is what Janmashtami is. That it is coming not just once in a year. Lord Krishna, especially in this age of Kali Yuga, has agreed to come at every moment when we open our mouths and when we chant His holy names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Krishna has come in the form of His holy name and He stayed with us. Other yugas, Krishna came and He left. But as a holy name, Krishna has come and He stayed with us. So that whenever we want, we can access Him. Therefore, is not only the biggest celebrity one can think or imagine about, the most beautiful, the most powerful, the most famous, the most of everything, and yet He is so accessible. This is another contradiction. Someone who becomes very influential, very famous, and very popular becomes inaccessible. But the beauty of Krishna is, He is the most celebrated, He is the most popular, He is the most opulent. and simultaneously he is the most accessible for everyone and anyone. And when we understand these wonderful aspects of Krishna, the way in which he comes, like I said, the way is, it's divine. It is avtaran. He chooses. That's his being supreme autocrat. And the reason he comes, the 4 R's you remember, to remind, to redeem, to reclaim and to reunite. And the most striking thing about Krishna is that Krishna, in his enjoyable pastimes, he purifies us. Our purification lies in understanding Krishna's enjoyment, which is the rarest to be found in this material world. And in this consciousness, when we approach Sri Krishna Janmastami, so we will have that grateful heart that here is my Lord and Master who is worthy of my surrender, who is worthy of my heart, my soul, my mind, my words, my actions, my everything. And then only the Krishna Janmashtami, which means the Lord comes for us and he wants that we should recognize his advent, we should recognize his descent and take benefit of his avtaran so that we can stop our prakaran. When we take full benefit of his avtaran, that is the only way we can stop our prakaran. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna.